Hi, how's everybody doing today? This is Rich here on behalf of Rich TV Live, and I'm here with the CEO of Geomega Resources Inc., Kiril Mugerman. How you doing today, Kiril?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing really, really well. Now, you guys have been putting out a lot of big news this week, so why don't we get started and you can tell us a little bit about Geomega Resources Inc.
Look, I'll make it super quick. Geomega, we are in rare earths recycling of magnets. Specifically, right now, that's our focus. Because everybody knows about rare earths, they're super important. You need to produce them. We want to produce them here, but we are going specifically after the recycling capability of rare earth elements.
Very
That's what we
good.
do.
Very good. And you guys just had some big news talking about how you guys are getting into the hand sanitizer space and you guys are now going to be in that space, but you're not going to stop doing your business. Do you want to?
No, no, absolutely. Look, I mean, our business is we are developing this first rare earth recycling plant, right? So for that, we are focusing on completing all the engineering activities, which will lead us to be able to have all the designs, order the equipment, start the construction, and growing that rare earth recycling network here in North America. That's what we are trying to do because North America is like so behind on rare earth recycling comparative to the rest of the world. That's what we are trying to do. Now, in the meantime, I mean, a lot of companies have been requested to help with the COVID-19 situation, with the relief efforts. And we looked at it, and we are basically our core business competency, my research team, we are all chemists. We are all basically, I'm not, I'm a geologist by background, but my team, they are all chemical engineers. So we looked at what we have, the equipment, then we looked at our pilot plant that we built and been sitting there, and every once in a while we run it for specific tests. And then we said, look, we might as well run that to produce hand sanitizer. And I was like, are you guys serious? And they said, yeah, sure. So we ran some tests. We used the WHO formulation to produce it. Then we went to the Canadian government and Health Canada, and we said, okay, can we produce? And they're like, absolutely, anything for local efforts. Because the hospitals, the clinics, everybody's stuck without hand sanitizer. So we said, okay, look, we're going to produce as much as we can. So really, that's our objective with this. It doesn't change anything what we are doing. The pilot is still there. It hasn't been cut in half, and everything is the same. We are going to be making hand sanitizer as much as we can right now to help with those efforts. We'll supply to the local communities, specifically hospitals, clinics, retirement homes. We said we'll be donating approximately 20% of our production to those most at need, which is specifically right now the retirement homes, which are seeing huge numbers of people getting infected. And yeah, so we'll be running this for now, helping, and we've received so many positive comments on how the mining processing industry, which is what we are, is helping with those reliefs, because we know some mines took all their PPE equipment and shipped it to the hospitals. I don't really have that, but we can help in other ways, which is producing this hand sanitizer. So we're really trying to help. Of course, it's going to generate some revenue for us, so that's always a positive. I won't get into the details of those numbers because it's not our core business, but it is basically a good opportunity to help the people and demonstrate that my team knows how to put stuff together, knows how to operate, knows how to run a plant, knows how to do production, and yeah, so that's where we are.
Very good. And what are the three main focuses of Geomega Resources?
So yeah, as I was saying, I mean, the focus is rare earth recycling. Now, from a short term, let's say 12-month focus is one, complete engineering. So to make sure that I have my book of engineering for ordering and operating that plant is ready. Two is ordering that equipment and starting construction. And three is growing the rare earth recycling capability network here in North America specifically. So what do I mean by that one? you saw a press release from us, I think, in March, just before the COVID happened. We signed an agreement with Jobmasters Canada. So Jobmasters is Canada's largest magnet distributor. Now, that means they sell to hundreds, if not thousands, of companies in North America, magnets, and those companies call them and they say, we've got magnets that we didn't use up on the project, or we've got magnets which are broken or something. What do I do with it? And they always said, we don't know. But now, as part of this collaboration with them, we are starting this network to collect magnets and bring it all to us. So we are growing this network, collection of magnets into Quebec here gradually. And with every news release that we're putting out, we get more and more calls. So this is the current push to grow, because everybody says, do they have enough material to recycle? That's true. Today, if you were to start an operation, it's not in my backyard, so you have to ship it from other places. So we have secured already a lot of material, but we are growing that supply as well. We are securing more and more material to make sure that we don't have just 300 tons per year, that we're growing to 500 tons per year, to 800 tons per year, to 1,000 tons per year of material coming in. So really, that's kind of the three focuses: complete engineering, start construction, and grow the collection network.
Very good. And who would you say are your main competitors right
now? China. Nobody outside of China really recycles rare earths.
Wow. So you're the only ones in North America doing this?
Yeah.
Wow.
So recycling rare earths, the first thing, if you look at the history, look, my background is I'm a mining analyst. I was with Industrial Alliance Securities until 2014. Then I joined Geomega. And my idea was, okay, we are going to put a plant into production, start from small scale, and we are going to demonstrate using secondary feeds. I started researching, and I saw this potential. Okay, wait a second, nobody's really recycling magnets. And then you start looking at statistics. Just Google it, and you'll see articles from 2014, 2015, 2016. Everybody says, rare earth recycling is at 1% globally, so the volumes are small, it's not economic. Totally wrong. And only 2018, 2019, China started publishing their statistics. They've been producing 30% of their rare earths, specifically neodymium, praseodymium, dysprosium, and terbium. 30% from recycling only.
Wow.
And then we were like, wait a second. So is rare earths recycling at 1%? Or is it much larger than that? And it is much larger than that. It's just everybody's been neglecting it, but while China was running away with it. So China is ahead of everybody on this.
Wow.
They are producing so much rare earths from recycling without even having to mine it more. And look, Japan's been trying to recycle as well. So I'm very familiar. We have this whole network of where material is going from Japan to countries like Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia. What's happening with all the magnets that's getting produced there? Where's that being recycled? Because since 2012, you're not allowed to ship magnet scrap to China.
Oh, wow.
So, I've got here an example for you, just to show you what it looks like. Actually, I have two examples here for you. And magnets are always hard to deal with. So this is a chunk of magnet from a wind turbine.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So in theory, if you put this into a container, you fill it up, and you ship it to China, you're going to get turned around at the border, and they'll say, nope, we don't want other countries' scrap. Do it yourself.
Wow.
So that's the opportunity. So competition, there are a couple of private companies that are doing magnet-to-magnet recycling. So they're saying, oh, we don't want to produce rare earths. We'll take a magnet, we'll convert it into another magnet. Okay, well, we know that exists in China, and other companies are trying to recreate it. It is doable. Quite often, you lose the quality of the magnet. So you start with a magnet quality 48 and 48, for example, and then you're mixing in. You cannot put more than, I believe, 30% of the old magnet, and then you come out here at a lower quality, but you still need 70% of raw materials. So there are many different processes. We know China does it. Then there are some magnets which are totally non-recyclable, magnet to magnet. So that has to go to a chemical processor like us. And then as well, you have companies like in Europe, they're spin-outs from universities. So some research was interesting, and then they spin it out, create a private company, and they are doing their own research and development. And some of them are more in just processing of rare earths, but not necessarily magnet recycling. And some of them are in magnet extraction. How do you extract the magnet from the hard drive, for example? So they're very different from what we do. So really, as a core business of what we do, recycle rare earths to oxides, we are pretty much the only ones.
Wow. Now, I have a couple messages from the audience.
Okay.
One of them is, where do you see your company in 5 years?
Look, we've got a pretty big plan with the Quebec government. They supported us. They financed our debt portion of the construction. If the way we presented to the Quebec government and the Canadian government is, we started with a recycling plant. From there, we'll probably have another recycling plant somewhere in Asia, because there's a lot of material in Asia to be recycled. So you want to tap into that market and take a big chunk and generate lots of cash flow from it. But really, we want to use then the exact same technology to put a bigger plant in Quebec, but not focused on recycling, focused on processing rare earth concentrates, rare earth tailings, rare earth byproducts, other specialty metals. There are so many different opportunities. We have a team, as you see, and sanitizer is just a little example. The guys go like, hey, we can do it. Why not?
That's great.
Do some tests. I'm fully equipped. I have 2 full labs, all the equipment that you need. So the guys go, I bring them problems, and they say, yeah, we can do it. So they run it. They come up with some solutions. Or if they might say, it's like, no, too expensive, doesn't make sense. So we look at all this, but really, we have an opportunity here in Canada with the Quebec government and the Canadian government to put and create a rare earth hub. Quebec has super cheap electricity. I mean, it's like at 2.7 cents a kilowatt. Wow. It's dirt cheap. We want to attract metal producers here into Canada. So for us to be able to do it gradually, demonstrate the cash flow, so then less dilution to the company, cash flow goes to finance new activities, and we basically go and start producing rare earths on a large scale from concentrates from other mines. All the mines that are shipping it right now to China, why ship to China? Let's give them another opportunity. Let's ship it to Quebec. That's what we want to do. And I'm not there today, because if I was to tell you today, let's build a huge rare earth processing facility for $500 million or whatever is going to be the cost, and you'll be like, but your technology is not even proven. Yeah, that's fine. That's why we're building something small for less than $3 million. Let's demonstrate it works. Let's get the cash flow going. Less dilution, because we've seen so many companies go bankrupt. They raise $500 million or $1 billion. Next thing you know, they're bankrupt because they run out of cash during construction. I don't want to do it. I think there are already enough risks in this crazy world that we're living in. Stock markets go up and down, oil price goes negative, that we don't need to try and get investors into a story that needs hundreds of millions or $1 billion. Let's gradually, but that gives me an opportunity in 5 years, step by step, to get to a point where I'm building I'm operating a hub of rare earth production in Quebec. And then if somebody, or even us, we want to develop a mine, we'll develop a mine from our own cash flows, and we'll have a much better debt capacity from the banks, instead of trying now to finance construction of a mine. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, especially right now with the way the world is. I agree with you. It's just really bad timing to try to really do anything when we're in the middle of a pandemic. And like you said, the price of oil is just gone to zero, which is creating all kinds of panic and causing a lot of stress, especially in the Canadian economy, because oil is a huge part of our economy. So when the price of oil goes down like it does, it affects everybody. Another question I have is from Michelle Clark. She says, hi, everybody. I'm a fan of rare earth. Do you have the type of rare earth to recycle that was mainly obtained from China in good quantities?
Okay, so to be correct on this answer, in theory, it's hard to ship magnet waste, so swarf, it's called swarf, SWARF, from China.
Okay.
Because China is skipping the swarf in China. There are companies that have reached out to us and they said, how much do you want? I'll ship it to you. So once we are operational, we believe that we will be securing material from China. Today, if somebody so I have those suppliers ready to send to me. But the thing is, those are small suppliers. I traveled to China. I went through those factories, and I'm like, yeah, I'll take this, I'll take this, I'll take this, I'll take this. And I visited several cities which have a lot of those magnet manufacturers, and we said, okay, can I buy it now? No, I'm not operational. So for you to bring it here to Canada, I have to write a check. I have to send the money to them, and then I have to stockpile it here in my backyard. Now, my wife is not going to be too happy about that if I'm stockpiling those containers there. So that's why. So yeah, the supply is there. It's the big companies don't ship it out because China wants to keep it, but there are thousands of small producers, and they are all happy. They are all expressed interest to send it to us, but they're not interested in an agreement of yes, I'll be sending you to. He doesn't know what he's producing tomorrow. That manufacturer, one of the manufacturers I've been dealing with in China, they're producing N95 masks right now.
Wow.
He's like, Kiril, do you want to buy some? I'm like, no, I'm only in the magnet industry. Sorry, buddy. So China is very unique. But yes, there is supply from China. And yes, there is supply from Japan. Yes, there is supply from Thailand. Yes, there is supply from Malaysia.
Wow.
Every single country where there is a magnet factory, there is supply. And a magnet factory cannot function without recycling.
Very good. And there's a question that says, I see you guys were at $5 in 2011. Why did the stock fall? Were you even involved in the company at that point in time? Probably not.
No, I was not involved. I was familiar with the company because, as I mentioned to you, I was a mining analyst with Industrial Line Securities. My focus was rare earth elements and industrial minerals. So I followed Geomega very close. Industrial Lines did the IPO just before that, before I joined them. So I did look into the company. I'll tell you the main reasons. Two. One, the shareholder structure at the time, I think there was like 10 million shares. The company just IPO'd. There was no shares liquidity. I think like 15 people owned like 80% of the company or something like that. So of course, because of that, it ran up very fast. And the second reason was they made a huge discovery. The Montviet project was a ginormous carbonatite 9 hours away from my house.
Wow.
So when they made that discovery, there were no shares. So as soon as people started buying, and rare earths were trading at $1,000 a kilo or something like that. So yeah, people were like, it's an amazing discovery. Let's invest. And the stock just ran up. Next thing you know, rare earth pricing correction started, which we all seen the bubble burst. And really the main thing that if we look at it right now today, Montviet is a great deposit. But it's a question of, I don't have a price for it, but let's throw in $500 million because that's roughly the average cost of all the rare earth projects that were being offered there. But do you want to raise $500 million to build a mine that will be sending concentrates to China? No. So again, it's always that the reverse logistics. Build the refinery, build the processing capacity to produce oxides, then develop your mine.
Okay, that makes sense. Do you have any partnerships in the works?
Quite a few, I'd say. And look, we've signed a partnership with a German company called Rocklink. They are, I'd say, they're ahead of everybody in terms of collecting end-of-life magnets.
Okay.
They're very smart in terms of how they develop their collection logistics in Europe. So they get a lot of magnets that partnership will be shipping material to here to Canada to recycle. We recently signed a collaboration agreement with Job Masters Canada that I mentioned to you. So they're a local distributor, so they know all the buyers. And we are working on other initiatives to put together groups that will either be our buyers or other groups that will be selling to us magnet waste. We are always talking to several groups who could strategically work with us. Anybody who's trying to develop a magnet plant, we are always in the discussions there to make sure that that magnet plant gets product recycled without having to ship to Asia. I'll give you an example. A magnet factory in Japan has to recycle their product. where do you think it goes? And it can't go to China because, as I told you, China does not accept other countries' waste. So it goes to Vietnam. So we want to give plants opportunities to recycle through us in a clean way. Because basically the opportunity, the clean, sustainable opportunity for this is recycling in a clean method. The way they recycle in China, they're using a lot of hydrochloric acid. So without getting the technical points, but hydrochloric acid and iron, so it's huge amounts of acid consumption. And then it's tailings and tailings and tailings. So you have to dump it all, right? In our process, I don't produce liquid tailings. I don't have any effluents coming out from the plant. Why? Because we recycle more than 95% of our reagents. And the iron that we produce, I had that little example for you here. That iron is a product that I can sell to anybody who consumes iron. You know, so that's the opportunity.
Kiril, if there was one thing you would want shareholders to know about your company, Geomega Resources, what would it be?
Look, rare earth production is not it's not about who can build the mine. I think there's already enough rare earth producers there, but it's really about who can come up with a process to produce high purity rare earths, to make alloys and magnets without having to go to China. I think that's what people should know about Geomega, because Geomega offers the investor today an opportunity of having a rare earth exposure without having the risk of that huge capex in the mine. So you have a low capex, near cash flow potential, and exposure to rares. And I think we've seen with the COVID situation, and as we highlighted in our most recent press release, you really have a situation here where companies cannot even get magnets out of China. I got highlighted by a report from SP Angel in the UK. Siemens is not able to get magnets for building their ventilators.
Wow.
And this is an essential equipment that we need right now.
Of course.
And they're saying, like, look, all our orders from China, they're not coming in.
Wow.
So, it's very important. And I think that's why the investor wants to look at all those strategic routes, strategic metals, and where they're coming from, and how do you get the exposure to those companies? Because we think there's a huge opportunity here in front of us with everything that's happening today, to make sure the world becomes more independent, let's say, less dependent on a monopoly.
Very good. Now, Kiril, you did mention that the company's close to cash flow.
Yes.
What does that look like? Our community loves companies that are undervalued, underappreciated, underexposed. You guys fall in that category for sure, okay? Undervalued, underappreciated, underexposed. Very few people within our community know about your company, and they're just starting to learn about it. A couple of people have actually started to buy it, and they're showing interest. So can you tell us a little bit about what it looks like with your balance sheet, and what the story looks like in the future as far as cash flow positivity, debt to equity ratio? Is this going to be a profitable story, this company?
Yeah, I'll give you a quick summary. I mean, let me just pull it up here on my screen just to make sure I don't get any of the numbers wrong. But basically,
I know you said you can't talk about the hand sanitizer, but that might make some revenue for you guys too, right? So, I mean, just
look. I mean, that's the hand sanitizer that we're selling, right?
Hey.
It will be this will be producing cash flow for us, absolutely. Because I mean, we need to make a margin and all that stuff, and we are selling at very reasonable pricing. So that will generate, as I said, that is almost like a free financing for the company.
Wow!
So that's an amazing opportunity to help the world get all the required permits. We got it within a month, and start producing.
Wow!
So we are not even going into the small dispensers, the little push bottles and all that stuff. There is a huge lack of those even, but that's why we are selling to the hospitals, the clinics.
You're selling like bulk. You're selling like bulk.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
We
like
don't
that's
use
like
something
if I was supposed to windshield washer fluid. That's like the windshield washer fluid type container, correct? Kind of.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll be making cash from that, absolutely. So that's a huge bonus for us that we were not counting on. But look, we'll use the opportunity
Are you guys
and
selling it already? Like, are you selling hand sanitizer right now?
no. We did not. We are. So we press released yesterday. We got the permits and all the approvals just now last week, basically. The conversion of the pilot unit is happening right now. There is one piece that's supposed to be arriving, and I think I heard the mailman while we were talking. So I think that package arrived. So I have to go and drop it off tomorrow at the lab. It's something that needs to be connected, and I'm hoping that by the end of this week, maybe we'll even be up and running.
Wow.
We have requests already for the material. I'm not going to say that everything is pre-sold, everything what we can make right now, but I think we're pretty close to that.
Great.
Look, I mean, especially with all the companies that are going back into production, into operation right now, they need a hand sanitizer bottle at every single corner.
Of course. I agree. I mean, you can't go anywhere without hand sanitizer now.
No, I know, and ours. I mean, it's nice and soft. I did the test run on my hands myself, and it feels good.
Okay, good.
But in terms of the cash flow potential of the company, look, so we look at it as a 3-stage kind of approach. The first one, if you look at my corporate presentation, is we start producing from the demo plant, and we only run it at 8 hours a day.
Okay.
Why 8 hours a day? Because that's 1.5 tons per day of magnet waste coming in. Today, I have supply secured for 1.5 tons a day easily. I just have to write the check. It arrives. It's sitting in our backyard at the San Bruno facility, and that's it. So I can run 1.5 tons per day today. As of today, no problems. In the meantime, I perfect everything to make sure everything is working properly. But once I'm operational, then I'm starting to make more orders for more waste to come in to our facility. So as soon as more material is coming in, I'm ramping it up to 3 tons and 4.5 tons a day. So instead of running 8 hours a day, we'll be running either 16 and then ultimately 24 hours a day with a few small downtime just for optimization, let's say, or cleanups or whatever it is. But running at 1.5 tons per day, because this material that I showed you here, the magnet, is running at 30% rare earths, basically higher than any other mine in the world. If you were to convert this into a mine grade, it's running at over 90% rare earths, which doesn't exist. Because it's only running 4 elements: neodymium, praseodymium, dysprosium, terbium. It doesn't have any lanthanum, cerium, none of those. So at 1.5 tons per day, I can generate, based on today's pricing, and honestly, rare earth pricing did not change that much pre or post-COVID. I'm saying in the Chinese pre-post-COVID. So that can generate $10 million of sales a year, only if I run 8 hours a day.
Very good.
Small operation with a capex of less than $3 million. I'm generating approximately 20% margin, so $2 million on the $10 million sales. So you're looking at basically a 1.5 year payback. And because the grants and the debt that we receive from the government are very flexible with us, we've been really good at optimizing our balance sheet. We will be operating and generating cash flow very fast once we start running. So then multiply that times 3. Do 3 shifts a day. You're looking at $30 million in sales.
Wow.
And $6 to $8 million profit, because you expect optimizations from running the same plant continuously at three shifts. So yeah, on a full plant, you can generate over $6 million in profit.
And so how far
how
far are you from being ready to do this? Like, how far is this from happening?
So look, I'm not going to put a specific date on it. That's I don't want to get
estimate,
in a
just estimate. Not obviously nothing that you're saying is
before the COVID situation. We were hoping to be in production in the second half of this year.
Okay, so Q3, Q4.
Yeah, Q3, okay. Q3, Q4. Obviously now everything slowed down: supplies, equipment, engineers. Companies cannot even open. Construction sites cannot open. So all of that is delays. So I cannot pronounce until everybody writes off and says, yeah, go ahead and start building. No issues. I'm not going to delay you. The permit from the government and all that stuff. Government is not really in that mood yet of dealing with companies when they're still figuring out when the schools are going to start. So I'm not going to pronounce on that. But look, we wanted to try still to be operational by the end of the year. I don't have a specific guideline for the investors. All we know is we are financed. We are not losing days of operation in terms of engineering. Everything is advancing. And in the meantime, if I can, I'm going to start ordering equipment as soon as I can.
But you guys are also generating income with hand sanitizer. So between now and then, is there enough money to be made selling hand sanitizers for investors to get excited about buying the stock now? Because investors are sitting there watching, looking at, okay, this might not happen now until the end of the year. How do we make money right now? Stock's at around 15 cents. Is there opportunity to make money just by buying the stock? And is there going to be enough revenue from selling hand sanitizer?
Absolutely. I won't necessarily put the numbers, the profits from hand sanitizer that we are estimating, just because I'll kind of be, once my plant is running and I know it's producing that many liters per day, it will be a little bit easier, I guess, to estimate. But yeah, absolutely. This is a very interesting cash revenue for us that we did not expect. It fell on us, and we have all the equipment for it. So
I think it's really smart, as an entrepreneur, as a CEO of a public company, your biggest modus operandi is to build shareholder equity, create shareholder value. You've taken a negative situation, which has caused delays, and you found a way to turn it into a positive situation and still generate income without affecting your core business. I think that's pretty impressive. And I think anyone that's watching would say that. I mean, how many companies can say, hey, we're going to just, because we're having delays because of the coronavirus, we're going to, instead of just waiting and essentially struggling, which is what a lot of businesses are doing, and showing massive losses across the board, we're going to just start selling hand sanitizer. I think that's pretty impressive. And it shows that you guys are creative and willing to do whatever it takes to grow your business. So I congratulate you on that.
I'll just say it like this. There's a very interesting opportunity to generate, there's a good opportunity to generate very interesting revenues. And I think, and we had that question with the regulators, because we are not changing our business. We are just something in parallel. It's our pilot unit. It's not our demo plant. And I think once we are operational and we know exactly how much we can produce, we will actually provide the guidance to the market, because I think there is a good opportunity to generate revenue here, because the demand is there, and I have the capacity and I have the permits. So we'll run with it. Absolutely.
I think you should,
as long as we do it respectfully to the market and all that, which we are. And yeah, no, we are pretty happy with where we stand right now.
Kiril, is there a chance once everything goes back to normal, you guys will keep selling sanitizer, or will that then go, by the wayside, and will you just focus on your core business? Or do you think there's a chance that this becomes a part of your business?
No. It won't be a part of the business.
It's a temporary thing. It's a temporary
thing. Our focus is on rare earths. We'll help with the local community as long as they need it, but after that we won't be selling. No, it's a distraction to the business. As you said, 5 years from now, what do we want to be? If we want to achieve all that, then I can generate much more cash from running my recycling plant than selling hand sanitizer. But still, the hand sanitizer is not a negligible revenue potential. We'll do that. We don't know for how long COVID is going to be slowing down the economy and preventing people to go to work and all that stuff. So for now, you can assume that probably for the next 3 months, easily, if not longer, we'll be selling. But maybe there's a miracle vaccine tomorrow, and there is no COVID issue, so hand sanitizer won't be in demand. So I'm not hiring a sales team to go and sell my hand sanitizer. But no, we sell as much as we can to generate revenue because we are a public company that's there, as you said, to create shareholder value. And this is an opportunity that we are creating shareholder value.
Very good. And are you able to receive the pandemic assistance for business stimulus?
Which one of them? I think there's like several.
Yeah. It's just a question from one of the members. They're not specific. They were just wondering if you.
Okay. Yes. So there are some programs that we can apply for, and we did already. And there are other programs. So in general, a pre-revenue company like us is falling in between the cracks for most of the programs. Some of the programs we did succeed in applying for, and we are still waiting for answers. Other programs we just don't fit within the criteria. But we are in discussions with the government and the lobbyist groups who are there to support the entrepreneur groups. We are part of a Quebec Clean Tech Association, so all their members are pre-revenue companies. So they don't fit really. They don't write off any. They don't get the wage subsidies and stuff like that. So we don't get the wage subsidies either. But hopefully that's going to be changing soon. We know there are several announcements that were made last week that, based on the announcement, it appears that we will qualify for the new programs that are to be announced soon. And we know that those groups that we deal with, Ecotech in Quebec here, they did say they are pushing to the government to start offering those small businesses, pre-revenue businesses, help.
Okay, great. And one more question. Are you contacting ventilator producing companies that may be interested?
No, so I don't sell magnets, right? I get magnets, chunks, pieces, sometimes really nice chunks, pieces, which you can sell, but they're not to spec or anything. They're mixture of different shapes. Here, I had one here that I want to show you. It's an impressive one, and it's a heavy one.
Oh, wow.
So that's a tough one to get out, and it's a dangerous one. So you see this magnet?
Oh, yeah.
So if I was to approach it a bit closer to my computer, it will just attach to the screen, and that will be the end of my computer.
Yeah, smash your screen. Wow.
So that's a really heavy one.
Wow.
It's kind of an example of what we get. You know, I cannot sell this to a ventilator manufacturer. I cannot sell this. There are some groups that would buy it and be like, hey, I can maybe use it for my generator. I'll cut it in pieces and stuff like that. But this is made out of approximately 20 different magnets glued together.
Oh, wow.
But so that's why it's not really useful to anybody. This is coming from a research facility that was doing some really interesting research with magnets. And they heard about us, called us. They shipped us several pallets of those magnets.
Oh, wow.
You know? And so this is what's missing. They heard about us. They're like, look, we've been sitting on this for years.
Wow.
We didn't know where to send it. So that's the type of opportunity you're looking at. But no, you cannot ship this to a ventilator manufacturer and say, here, buy this. Okay. It needs a special shape, size, and strength.
Kiril, one more question. What is the best way for shareholders to get in touch with the company? We've got some shareholders that are watching that are interested in investing. Maybe there's some businesses that might be interested in doing business with you, joint ventures, letters of intent. How do people get in contact with you?
I'd say, look, I mean, we are very active on social media in general. So we have a very good presence on Twitter, on LinkedIn, both a company account and myself. And as well, my company, the phone number on the website, and extension 5653 is the direct line to me. And maybe with the video description, you can I'll send it to you and you can put it there. So
Sure.
my email address, I get back to everybody, small investor or big investor. Yeah, absolutely. Anybody who has questions, comments, anybody who wants to sell us magnets, we'll take them. I usually get one email a week of somebody at home disassembling hard drives. It's like, hey, I've got some magnets. Can you buy some? I'm like, sure, keep disassembling. Once you have a big box, we'll take it off your hand.
Nice. Very good. Well, thank you so much for your interview today. I wish you all the best of luck in your future endeavors. Let's
Excellent.
continue to hopefully have a relationship, and hopefully we can do this again soon.
Excellent,
Congratulations on everything you're doing with hand sanitizer. Not only a very smart move for your business, but you're also making a huge difference for Canadians, for people that need this type of help and assistance with hand sanitizer, which, like you said, is in a short supply right now and major demand. So congratulations on all your success, and hopefully we can get this COVID-19 behind us and we can get your plant up and running sooner rather than later.
As soon as possible, we'll be up and running, and we'll all be very happy with having rare earth production in Canada finally.
Thank you so much. This is the CEO of Geomega Resources, Kiril Mugerman. Thank you so much, Kiril. Have yourselves a great day.
Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Thank you for watching, everybody. Have a great day, everybody.